Hello, I'm Karina.
And I'm Jamie.
Welcome to As Told by ADHD. This podcast is a brainchild of two best friends with ADHD who share a passion for learning and a knack for finding the most fascinating tidbits of knowledge. Each week, we embark on a wild and hilarious journey of discovery as we dive headfirst into topics that pique our curiosity. From dark folklore to bizarre statistics, cultural ceremonies to famous dead people, we're here to entertain, educate, and tickle your funny bone.
This week on As Told by ADHD, we're talking about Lost Civilizations Part 2. Last week, you got an earful about the Minoans. This week, Karina's gonna teach us a little something.
A little something about a little place that we didn't know about until the late 1900s.
Late 1900s. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Anyways, so we are going into Asia about 7,000 years ago.
Okay.
Are you ready? Seatbelts? And here we go. About 7,000 years ago, long before dynasties and emperors, the land we now call China was made up of farming communities. So we are around 5,000 BCE. That is 5,000 years before year one. People along the Yellow River Valley or the Honghe were growing millet, a small seed grass, which is now considered an ancient grain, which I thought was cool, a little tidbit. They were growing rice, they were raising animals, and they were making painted pottery, which is very common, especially for those who used to live along river beds. You dig down deep enough, you get clay, you use that clay to make dishes and stuff to hold foods and all that good stuff, okay? So, farther south, rice farmers were building their own villages, and they weren't yet kingdoms, but they also weren't simple tribes either. They were pretty organized, and they were also slowly growing, so they were becoming more complex. So over time, social ranks became a thing. They became clearer, and then certain families began to hold more power than others. This is just kind of how this is Chinese history. This is how China became China. And this is all very pertinent because all this is gonna change the entire history of how China became China because of the lost civilization I am going to be talking about. So it's very pertinent to know a little bit of history.
You're saying China a lot, and it's really making me want some Chinese food.
Same.
I think I'm really hungry.
Especially because of a certain area we're going to be talking about is named after, or no, a food is named after that area. So that's what got me.
I'm so
And you're going to be like, ugh.
I love some good Chinese food.
Me too. My favorite, though, is actually egg drop soup. Is that weird?
I'm not a fan of egg drop soup, but I'm also not a huge soup person. Like, I prefer, like, a thick soup. If I'm drinking, like, or if I'm, like, eating soup that's, like, just broth or, like, with something in it, it's either got to be ramen, love a good ramen, or I'm sick and I'm eating chicken noodle soup or something.
Or I'm unwell and I can't actually eat solid foods.
Correct. Otherwise, I like a thick, creamy soup. Because I feel like if it's not thick, then I'm hungry like 30 minutes later.
That's fair.
But with ramen, not too much because you got the noodles in there. Oh, I love ramen. Now I want ramen.
Sorry. So, by around 2000 BCE, this is 2,000 years before year one, a huge change occurred. An area now known as Arlito, located in the Yilo Basin of Yanshi District in Luoyang, Henan. It would later be uncovered by archaeologists. They discovered remains of what looked like palace complexes and some of the earliest large-scale bronze objects in China. So they're finding this, they're dating it back to about 2000 BCE. So later, historians would associate this period with the Shia dynasty. Though whether the Shia truly existed exactly as described, that's still kind of debated. But what matters is that this was the moment when China was shifting from advanced farming societies to states or kingdoms. So they had like kind of like a timeline of where to start of when like kingdoms became a thing, because we're going to start getting into dynasties. So now bronze enters the picture. Bronze required mining, trade, skilled labor, and organization. You don't just like stumble into bronze production. It demands a lot. So around 1600 BCE, a new dynasty rose in northern China, which is the famous Shang dynasty. The Shang dynasty was the first dynasty that we can now confirm with solid evidence. Why is it the first? Because that was my question. But it was because the Shang left 3 kinds of hard evidence that all lined up together. Okay? Any questions? Any questions from the class?
Did you already say the food name?
No.
Okay. I'm really hungry. I was like, I didn't hear a food name in there.
No. When you know, you know. When you hear it, you'll know. You'll just be like, that's what I'm gonna order later. Like I said, there was 3 pieces of hard evidence. The first were oracle bones. These were turtle shell and ox shoulder blades that were used by what we would call, I guess, like a shaman. But basically,
I'm gonna have to Google what an ox shoulder blade looks like. I
it looks
cannot
like
picture.
a bone. Insert picture here,
That's a lot.
right?
Okay.
So on these bones were inscriptions that were carved. And I guess how the shamans used to do it were they would have someone come to them wanting to know the future or the outcome of something, and they would carve the question or what they want to see the future of on these bones. And then the shaman will like do their like little martini shake and throw it out, and however it lands, usually with this type of like tactic, they'll have like some sort of cloth or some sort of table, some sort of something laid out that when the bones land on a certain symbol that is on that table or on that cloth, it would mean XYZ. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
It's kind of like the randomness of tarot card reading.
yeah. Well, I was thinking like, there's an ancient practice in like Norse culture that they would have like bones, but they'd be like little tiny bones, and however they land is like the answer. Like if they land on top of each other, that's one thing. If
Yeah.
they land side by side, it's another thing.
So the reason that these bones are so pertinent is because the inscriptions that were carved on them were kings' names, questions asked to ancestors, military campaigns, harvest concerns, weather predictions, births, and deaths. So you have all of these people's names, you have all of these war territories, you have all of this information written on bones. So that's how they were able to have record of this. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Just side note, I would never go to a shaman, a fortune teller, anybody to ask my death date. I want to know. I
also
want to be
know
surprised.
You know, when I go.
Because then I'm going to be thinking about it, you know? Like, oh,
Well, some people are obsessed with the thought of death because people like want to make sure they handle everything that they want to handle before they die, or they want to know if they end up being rich or if their greed is their downfall, or if they marry this person, if it'll be their downfall, or if they go to XYZ place to start a new life, if that's going to bring upon their death. Like, there's a lot of reasons, selfishly, in my opinion, as to why people wanted to know their death dates.
But, like, that being said, just be a good person. Like, just do things good. Just have a good moral compass. don't be greedy. I mean, that's easier said than done for a lot of people, but I think that personally for me, it's easy to not be greedy.
Yes.
And I wish everybody could feel the same.
It's that human nature that a lot of people like kind of give into, unfortunately. But because of this documentation that was on these bones, archaeologists were able to uncover this, which means they were able to have written record of this dynasty. The kings' names that were listed on these bones would be backed up evidence-wise because there's king name lists that were written in historical text that were written centuries later. So there's like written text that they have that matches this so they can like kind of make sure they have a concrete dynasty. Does that make sense? Like everything's just kind of matching up, the regions, like the names, all this kind of stuff.
Do we know if this is like popular or if is it taboo? Like, is this something that like everybody goes to do, or is this something that like you do in secret because you don't want people to know?
Everybody says to go to the shaman. You go to the shaman. You get to the shaman.
Right, but like
I don't think
is
it wasn't
having your
taboo.
future
It wasn't
told.
looked down upon.
Okay.
Because people would go there to make sure that they're making the right decisions. So they saw
Yeah.
them more so as like a counselor that was
Mhm.
mandatory before making like huge decisions. So shamans
Right.
were not looked down upon
Which, like, I understand
whatsoever.
that. But asking
Mhm.
your death date, that's crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
That's
People are real
wild.
selfish. People are real selfish. So,
I don't know. I wouldn't even say that's like selfish. I would say it's paranoid. Cause like
it is paranoid.
why do you need to know? Like what can what upper hand is that gonna give you? Or is it gonna make your life worse because you're constantly thinking about it?
The reason I think it's selfish is because I feel like being in the mindset of pretty much survival, during these times, they would want to know, like I said earlier, what their downfall
Right.
was going to be. And if they say, a man or a woman or this war or whatever, they'll do whatever they can to like avoid death. That's why I kind of think that it's selfish. So whether they kill the person that's supposed to kill them
That's
first or
crazy.
like, whatever. Like there's documentation and stories, not necessarily in China
Right.
like there is, but, of killing somebody before they can get the chance to kill you because you got
Yeah.
a prophecy,
Right.
told to you
I
from
wonder how
some
accurate
lady.
these people were. How accurate were these bones?
I feel like, and this is very, I'm not discounting spiritual arts whatsoever, but I also feel like there's a certain type of person that can understand things better than the average human being. I say that as in like we have behavior analysis now. We have, all of these people who specialize in human behavior. And so if they are told a set amount of information, I think they're just making a very accurate
Mm-hmm.
probability.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
I remember talking with my therapist a long time ago cuz like I was really confused about how like I could just know who someone is based on like just in like seeing them immediately like knowing their like personality and everything like that. And I was like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like I have to be wrong, right? And she was like, not necessarily. You're picking up on patterns. Like your brain is like picking up on patterns that you've seen before. And when you don't know who someone is immediately, it's because you haven't run into someone like that before. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm just really good at pattern recognition.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people try to monetize on it.
Yeah. But I
Not
don't
like I
even know
said, I am not
like
I am not looking down upon, all of those who
oh
are
yeah.
into spiritual craft like that. No, but I do think that there's a certain group of people who monetized off of just being able to understand human patterns. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but also, like, how do you tell someone's future when you haven't met the other person that you're saying is gonna kill that person? Like,
I honestly think you just kind of know, because if you think about it, you
it's
know
the bones.
how you know how small towns, like, news travels fast? So if
Yeah.
you're a shaman in this area, and this is just speculation, if you're a shaman in a village or a
Mhm,
small city or town, you have everybody coming to you because they're not looked down upon, telling you their business,
oh,
bringing up X, Y, and Z names.
you're so right. I didn't even think about that.
I like you know everything because everybody is coming to you.
Mhm.
So that's just
I
my
think
theory.
that, like, if you're good at pattern recognition in that time period, that'd be a good way to make money.
That's what I'm saying. Monetize.
Mhm.
And there could have been, I mean, it had to start somewhere. Like, I'm not saying that there's not people who do not have spiritual capabilities that
Right.
can see things or feel things that the average person cannot. But I also don't think that those types of people are extremely common. Not enough to be in every single town and city. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but anyways, so the second piece of proof was at their capital at Anyang. Archaeologists uncovered royal tombs, palace foundations, massive bronze ritual vessels, sacrificial pits, human and animal remains. So this shows as well that this was, a kingdom. There was a hierarchy. There was, centralized rule. There was bronze production, there was labor, there was rituals and stuff like that, which pretty much makes up like a common civilization. And then
Mhm.
third, the oracle bones confirmed a hereditary ruling line.
Okay.
Okay. So they're able to point to different family members and have the name of those family members so they can make accurate family trees, especially when it came to rulers.
Mhm.
Um, there was territorial control, so they knew where they branched out or where they tried to attack. And there was, the authority of how far that authority spread. So for a long time, historians believed that this northern region along the Yellow River was the single birthplace of Chinese civilization.
Okay.
But while the Shang kings were ruling the north, something was happening southwest in the Sichuan Basin.
Szechuan.
That's the word.
That's the food. That's a good sauce.
That's what.
That's a good sauce.
You're just gonna be. Is that what you're gonna have for dinner?
No, I am marinating sesame chicken. I
Fair.
already have it prepped. It's, like, in my
For you.
refrigerator marinating.
Szechuan.
So
So yeah, we're down
sesame
in the
chicken's so
Sichuan
good. Sorry.
Basin. It really is. It is. So between 1600 and 1000 BCE, a powerful culture was flourishing at what we now call Sanxingdui. Sanxingdui.
Nice.
So, Sanxingdui is believed to have been the heart of the ancient Shu kingdom. This was a civilization that developed alongside the Shang up north, or Shang up north. So, what this means is that China's Bronze Age wasn't really centralized in just like one area. It was developing in multiple powerful regions at the same time. So, Sanxingdui was first discovered in 1929 by a local farmer, but it wasn't until 1986 that archaeologists conducted a full-scale excavation of the civilization. They found the site covered roughly 1.35 to 1.39 square miles, and that is about 865 to 890 acres. So it was technically a small city, but it was seen as very sophisticated, especially being so far away from where the hub of advanced civilization was said to be, right?
I just imagine this farmer that found it was like, he just like bebopped up, found some old artifacts. He's like, that's really cool. I'll just put that down. And then he like told everybody about it.
So I was like wondering why it took them so long, because he found it in 1929. Why did it take to the 80s for archaeologists to actually get out there? Was he denying it because that was his, land? Did he finally get it from like his children? Or did like the country get it from the the farmer's
Right.
children? Like who knows how they finally were able to get on this land? But I feel like that farmer was just like, you can have this thing that I found, but back off. This is mine.
Maybe.
I
Maybe he was
imagine
like,
SpongeBob, in SpongeBob when he like went in the time, he like made an accidental like time machine
I
and
don't
he
remember
went
that
back
episode.
to cavemen times underwater, and he found caveman Patrick, and they found fire, and he
Oh,
was like,
okay.
me free free, me free free. That's exactly what I thought of when I was reading this. He was just like, this is mine, my spot, my
Well,
treasure.
I guess I have like a more like, I don't know. I like to think humans aren't as selfish as they are. They usually are. But I like to think that he was just like, oh, this is really cool. I'll take this home. And so he just took it home. And then he was telling everybody about it. So that's why people know. And then they were like, oh, you got some secrets there. Let's go get it.
Yeah, and
Like
who
maybe he didn't
knows?
know the cultural significance of what he found.
That true. And like, I think maybe also, what if he found it, kept it when family inherited the land, they found
Mm-hmm.
it and was just like, is there more of this? Because I feel like if the Chinese government found out that this was there, they would take it by force in the name of
Yeah.
like some historical, legislature of some sort, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was the case, that they weren't able to get there
Right.
until 1989.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of governments are like that, especially like back then. Like they're like, "Hey,
Or
that's ours."
1986. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But yeah, they usually will. They'll be like, this is now property of the state. And it's
Right.
just like, but it's in my name. They're like, you have history, so this land is now ours. And you
Uh-huh.
literally can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the last episode where I talked about the Minoans, Greece was just like, "You give us money, you can have, you can have it.
Give
Money,
us money, we give it to
give me
you.
money, and then you can have."
But when they were finally, this is in 1986, not 1989,
Mm-hmm.
1986, what they uncovered about the civilization was a complete shock. Okay?
Okay.
So we know that it's dated back to about the Shang dynasty time,
Mm-hmm.
where the Bronze Age was very prominent. They had bronze. Okay, they dug up
Okay.
bronze, but they found enormous bronze masks with protruding eyes, towering bronze statues, ivory tusks. The style was completely different from the Shang artifacts. The technology of bronze casting was like similar because you can only do it so many ways, but the imagery of it was completely different. So their bronze creations looked almost alien. They had elongated faces, they had sharp ears, they had super tall, slender bodies, and then there was also a bunch of bronze trees
Huh?
around that they dug, when they're, digging into the ground. Bronze trees.
So they smelted bronze and then made a tree, or they
They
painted
like
a tree in bronze?
formed the bronze into the shape of trees.
Okay, so it wasn't like, oh, let me paint this tree bronze.
Yeah, I don't think the bronze would have lasted that well because as soon as the tree
Yeah.
deteriorates, the bronze. But it was fully bronze trees that they made, which the pictures are
Mhm.
really really cool. So my question, having like these alien type creatures, I guess, or idols, and these trees, what could they be worshiping? Who was their god? Um,
Mother Nature.
something like that. Because there's no written record. They weren't lucky enough to find oracle bones or anything like that had any information written on it. So the scholars who were studying Sanxingdui have to look at these artifacts and try to guess, kind of like how you were talking about in your story. A lot of them believe that the like exaggerated eyes, the protruding eyes, represent a deity with supernatural sight, maybe a
Okay.
god that could look across realms,
He's
possibly.
got X-ray vision.
Yeah. He
Wear
can see your
lead.
bones. But there is also a Shu kingdom. So this area where Sanxingdui is technically they're assuming that it's part of the Shu kingdom. So the Shang is up here, up north, and then the Shu is south, okay? But we're like southwest. So there was a Shu kingdom legend about a king named Kan Kong who had protruding eyes, but some researchers wondered whether, it could be for that king or if it was a deity. So that's just kind of like an also like little side note of information just because I
I
want to
just
make sure like I cover all bases of what people could have believed
Mhm. I just
about this.
don't I can't picture a human with protruding eyes unless it's like that one actress. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She's African American and like she can like pop her eyes out.
I mean, some people can do that, and there are people with like
Mhm.
really,
But
like unfortunately,
she
really
she
big
like
eyes.
looks normal. Like she like her eyes aren't naturally like that. She like forces her eyes out to do that, which like scares me cuz like it
It
makes my
does.
eyes hurt.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how like people. Yeah. Anyways, ugh. Okay. Anyways, so what were these trees about? So if they have a deity who can see through realms,
Mhm.
possibly, what were these trees? Scholars believe that this represents a world tree, which is like a cosmic axis. Yeah,
Okay.
like a cosmic axis that connects heaven to earth, earth to the underworld.
Okay.
Okay? So, similar world trees I read appear across many ancient cultures. So, I asked myself, there was no real evidence to back this up, but I was like, could have this been like a settled civilization from like a foreign
Mhm.
place, because these trees are a symbol in several different ancient cultures.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't know. But, anyways, this suggests that the religion may have centered on cosmology, which is speaking Jamie's language. She's all about, I think that should be
Well,
her religion. Cosmology,
no.
just
I
the
don't know if
universe.
I don't think I fully believe in cosmology. I just think it's fun. Like
That's fair.
I'm also in like the realm of like anything's possible. So it could be real, but it
Yeah.
also like might not be. And that's
True.
okay.
So their high priest or shaman or deity was thought to be this long alien, like slender figure. And it also
Slender
looked
Man?
like, I hope
No.
not. Well, he doesn't have protruding eyes. So
Maybe that's why, because he had to get rid of them.
he didn't want to see the future into other realms anymore.
He didn't want to see it. He got rid of
He
his
didn't
own
want to see
eyes.
it. There's just some things you just don't need to wish to see. But,
Yeah.
anyways, so they saw that this statue was supposed to be holding something. And because it was obviously not in the hands or the arms anymore,
Uh-huh.
but they thought it could be like a ritual type object. And the stuff that they found an ivory tusk, like I mentioned earlier. So this could have been like the ritual object that the statue was holding. Why though? So so they think that this tusk could have been the ritual object, but the culture of this place appeared to be like a highly sophisticated theocratic society. Theocratic meaning like religious authority is the ultimate source of power. Like that is leadership. Since they had this hierarchy, which means that they should have had a system of, maintaining wealth, staying prominent, all of those things. So they were traders. So ivory likely came, so the ivory tusk and ivory likely came from the southeast part of Asia. And then they would also trade shells from the Indian Ocean. So that's that they were able to trade the bronze for these things around Asia. And that had some record, but I mean, that doesn't really tell us anything. It's just kind of like how they were able to maintain their city. And then they disappear.
What happened? Where'd they go?
I don't know.
Nobody
So
knows?
there's a couple theories, but they disappear. Most scholars place the decline or disappearance around 1100 to 1000 BCE. The city was abruptly abandoned with no written explanation in any history or any documentation of China. Slenderman.
Slenderman lost his eyes. He got mad.
He lost his eyes, and so they lost their society. And it happens. So archaeologists found sacrificial pits where their precious objects that they spent so long cultivating and collecting were deliberately broken and buried. Okay? So that's like a red flag number one. It's like, why is this here? It was such a question. There's 4 main theories as to what happened to this society.
Okay.
The first one, they believe, the most common approach, natural disaster. So, geological evidence found by specialists suggests that a massive earthquake may have triggered landslides that rerouted the Min River. And that was Sanxingdui's primary water source, this river.
Okay.
Flooding on the Chengdu plain could have destroyed farmland because of the reroute and made the area unsustainable. The second theory is internal strife. So archaeologists suggest that a power struggle between priestly and secular elites could have taken place, which could be the reason why there was deliberately broken artifacts, because it could have represented like a coup, or some sort of like religious revolution or something like that taking place. The third is relocation. So there's strong evidence that states that the civilization moved about 30 miles away to Jinshu. Artifacts found at Jinshu were gold masks and jade pieces, which closely resembled those at Sanxingdui. And Jinshu was starting their rise as a prominent city within the kingdom as Sanxingdui was declining. So they suggested that it could have become the new capital of the Shu kingdom.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's just like a whole city, a whole capital. It's like the why, but we don't have documentation of that.
I mean, it could have been all 3. Like,
it could have been all 3.
Maybe it started with a fight. This is me theorizing. This is me having fun in my little brain. Maybe it started with a fight, right? And then earthquakes, right? And they're like, oh my God, we're fighting and we caused an earthquake. The gods hate us. And so then they break their stuff, or maybe they broke their stuff before. I don't know. And then they're like, we gotta leave this area because we've angered the gods. And so
they did put it in their sacrificial pits. They're probably like, we're sorry. We're sorry.
Yeah. So maybe all of them.
Well, there's a fourth. Okay. And this is actually the least popular theory, but they think it could have been invasion. So earlier theories suggested conquest by the Shang or a rival tribe, but the reason it's less supported is because the sacrificial pits show like almost an organized burial. Like, yes, stuff was
Yeah.
broken, but it wasn't like a raid type destroyed. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah,
It's not
definitely.
like chaos.
Yeah.
So that's why they were like, yeah, like it could, but who knows?
Right.
But however it
I like my
fell,
theory.
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good theory. We're so sorry. Just throwing all their crap towards the
Like, they're
gods.
just, like they're, like, fighting, and they're like, "No, we want all the power. No, we want all the power. No, we want all the power. Earthquake." And then
Earthquake.
and then they're like, "Ah! Nobody gets the power. Nobody gets the power. We're sorry."
Nobody gets the power. We're sorry. Oh my gosh,
"You
that's
get the
good.
power. We're sorry."
So, I mean, pretty much as quickly as it rose, it fell. And it completely disappeared. Everybody abandoned it. Everybody abandoned it because this was the capital. So eventually we would start, getting written documentation.
Right.
So they were up long enough to be established, and then they just literally abandoned ship and took off. So this kingdom was buried. However, if it was natural disasters that came after, for about 3,000 years before it was found, which is
Mhm.
kind of crazy. But my question that came with this, because I don't know if he just like predicted the future, because I did not tell him what my topic was about. He, like my fiance, likes to randomly tell me facts, and he told me that he said his words were, there's about 60% of China that is not developed, which is a huge number, right?
Mhm. But China is huge.
No, it is huge, but I still think that's insane because they,
Yeah.
have a lot of struggles with overpopulation and stuff in the
Yeah.
cities that they have. So that was just kind of like a little shocking to me. And so I wanted to like look into it, and because this one discovery in the 1920s reshaped China's entire history.
Mhm.
Entire history, you know? So if only I found out it's actually 57. There's about 57% of China that is unpopulated or is minimally habited. So what could be out there still
Right.
that could reshape history again?
Yeah.
Anyways,
So what
anyways,
I'm hearing is that we need to become archaeologists and just go explore rural China.
curiosity.
Actually,
That's all you need is curiosity.
do they have scary animals?
Yes.
If anybody else wants to go look around the rural parts of China for
We'll give you a
lost
nice
civilization,
round of applause.
yeah, that's all we can give you. I
We'll say,
definitely
good
am
job.
not gonna go
You did it.
wildlife. I'm an indoors person.
I
I'm
mean,
fine.
that would make me an indoors person. I genuinely am curious though, like since so much is uninhabited, like if there's a whole kingdom in China that has not been discovered yet. Like a whole nother kingdom.
Maybe just overgrown by jungle. There's jungles in China, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. I'm
So
so
curious.
curious. But anyways, so that was Sanxingdui. It could have turned into Jinshi. We
No
don't
one
know.
knows.
All we know is that we got some really crazy looking bronze idols that they used to worship. But anyways.
Anyway, I enjoyed that story. Thank you. Everybody, drink your water.
And what are you going to do nice for yourself this week?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
This week, I think that I am going to I think I'm gonna play my Nintendo Switch because I haven't
Heck
done
yeah.
that in like a month. So I'm gonna find
Nice.
time this week to play my Nintendo Switch. What are you doing?
Maybe I'll play some video games too. I feel like I don't have time right now, but maybe I'll make some time to play a little Baldur's Gate.
Little video games, little
Or
something.
maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, as always.
As
Like and subscribe
always.
if you
Yes.
want.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Goodbye. Sound like Alanis Morissette. Anyway, bye guys.